Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I don't know if you can tell just by the setting, but we are actually in a new location for today's video. Dallin and I made our move to Utah a little bit early, just with everything going on. So now we're closer to family, some old friends. I grew up in Utah, so this is home for me, and it's actually where me and Dallin met, so it's just kind of nice to be back. We're all settled mostly in the new place. If you guys want to see a tour, that could be something I could do. Just comment down below, let me know if that's something you're interested in. But anyway, today's video is going to be the top 6 things, 6 of the best things I think I've done for myself. I just thought this would be a fun video. Maybe some of these tips can help you guys out, help you make some positive changes in your life. So let's just get straight into the video. Alright, so the very first thing I want to talk about today, one of the best things I've done for myself or kind of made a habit of, is reading regularly. So I talk a lot about self-help books on my channel and how I love them, they've changed my life. Oh, there's Mana. I don't just mean self-help books, that's like my favorite genre, but any topics that you're interested in that could help you learn more about whatever topic. The book I'm currently reading, I'm reading The Joy of Missing Out. It's about being productive, but it's not one of those books that you have to hustle hard and grind yourself till you're dead. It's like finding harmony with what matters most to you. So I'm in the middle of that one right now, it's really good. And then some of the other self-help books I've read, You Are Badass. I read this one probably as my first self-help book, which I think is a good one to start with. It's a good entry level into self-help and that whole world. It's really motivating. You should read this one. The other 2 I wanted to mention, I've read A New Earth. This one's a deeper self-help. It's kind of spiritual. This one definitely changed my whole perception of life. This one was really deep. I had a lot of mental, I guess, breakdowns while reading this book. But this one's really good. This one's by Eckhart Tolle. I think I got most of these on Amazon. I bought this one at Target. And then the other one is The 5 AM Club. Again, I thought this book was going to be just like a hustle hard type of book, which in some senses it is, but I like how it has a balance of sustainability. It's not just the same thing. Like with The Joy of Missing Out, it's not working yourself into the ground, but it's got some good tools, tips, skills, and it also helped me start getting up at 5 a.m. So I'm gonna talk about that later, but this one's a really good book as well. And then the last book I wanted to talk about is this big textbook, Glute Lab by Brett Contreras. So I'm about that far into it. And this one's really good because obviously I'm interested in the science of physique training. I've actually learned a lot just in that short amount of time of reading it. It's just a really good book. I try to read this every night before bed, and I also think reading a textbook before bed kind of helps me get ready for bed. Yeah, I'm learning a lot of good information in this book. So whatever it is that interests you, reading is just so helpful. It increases your attention span, you can learn so much, and I just feel like it's time well spent, especially in the self-help world, because taking care of yourself is the foundation for building a better life for yourself and those around you. So if you have any book suggestions for me, I would love them, or if you have any other questions about books I've read, feel free to ask. Okay, the second best thing that I've ever done for myself is hiring a coach. So if you've been following me here on YouTube for a while, you know I competed in WBFF Bikini back in December. Preparing for that was the first time I'd ever hired a coach, and I hired Hattie Boydell with the Sports Model Project. I worked with her for about 6 months leading up to my show, and I'd always kind of wanted to work with a coach so I could learn more about fitness, health, body changes, all that kind of stuff to help me be a coach myself. And I'd always kind of wanted to compete for like 3 years prior, so it was a good time to hire a coach. And the thing I didn't realize that would be so huge was the coaching I would get on behavior and mindset change and all that sort of thing. I don't think I've ever had such a big transformation mentally and physically in such a short amount of time. For some people, 6 months might seem like a lot, but it really is not. It goes by so fast. I feel like the older we get, time goes by faster. It can be costly to hire a coach, but I think the price you pay for a coach is kind of part of the coaching process, because when you pay for a plan or pay for a coach, you're more willing and ready to follow the process, do what they tell you, and kind of just put more effort into the whole thing. So I'm no longer working with her now. I'm taking a short break from competing, but I do plan on going back. She's a great coach. So since then, I've worked with my second coach I've ever had, which is, her name's Lindsay. I'll put both of their links down below where you can find them. But Lindsay is a personal life coach, and because I'd had such a great experience with my first coaching process, I knew that coaches are so life-changing, or they can be so extremely helpful. So I was totally ready to sign up with Lindsay and kind of go more into personal life stuff. She's been extremely helpful too with my view of myself and my limiting beliefs. So I've had a great experience working with her, and I still am working with her. So whatever area it is you're interested in, try and find a coach for that. If you want to better your business, or if you just want your personal life to improve, working with a coach is just something that provides, I don't know, it's just a different kind of learning and support that you just don't get on your own, or even reading books or anything like that. So if you're skeptical, definitely hire a coach. They're great, okay? Okay, the third best thing I ever did for myself, this one's kind of cheesy, but it's so true, and that is I turned my dreams into plans. So when I was 20, I think I was like 20 years old, I came across this quote, and I remember it. I'll pop it up on the screen, but I remember this distinct moment of reading this quote because it said, she turned her can'ts into cans and her dreams into plans. And it was like this epiphany moment of realizing that dreams don't have to just be dreams, they can be a reality if you work for them. Since that moment, I've decided that my dreams are now my goals, and I'm making plans for them. And I think there's probably people out there that think their dreams are just dreams and there's no reality to them, but I think life is so short, and you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not going after what you truly want. That one's kind of simple. Just realize that your dreams can be real, and make those small steps each day and just keep working to make them a reality. Okay, I've got my notes here, so don't forget the things. Number 4 is to, look, I already forgot. Okay, yeah, set up a morning and nightly routine. So that is where I come back to this book. I'd always wanted to be a morning person, and in the past when I have had periods of waking up early, it's always a very peaceful time. Once you can get yourself up and out of bed, I just love like the quiet solitude of the morning. I love seeing the sunrise, and you just feel really good and fresh. So I always kind of wanted to make it a habit of being a morning person, and 5 a.m. is like a whole nother level. But now I feel pretty comfortable getting up at 5 a.m. and it's like I have an hour or two before Talon gets up just to myself and my process. I usually journal and meditate in the morning and then read a book. So this book really helped me with that. Kind of gave me more of a motivation of why I want to get up early and how much it can improve your life. Again, I recommend this book. And if you guys want to see my morning routine, that's another video I could make. Just let me know if you're interested. But along with morning routine goes nightly routine, because waking up as early as 5 a.m., you have to still be getting enough sleep. So it starts with being prepared the night before. So usually I'll start the coffee maker, like grind some beans, put the water in it. So that way when I wake up in the morning, I can just press one button to get the coffee going. And then I also get in bed. My goal is to get in bed at about 8. It's not always that early. And then read again for an hour before I go to sleep. And then by 9 to 9:30, I go to sleep. So sleep is a very important thing for our brains, the function of our body, everything. So waking up early requires you need to go to sleep early. There are times that I don't expect myself to stick to this if it's like the weekend or special occasions, but I am making a big effort to make it a habit. Just taking that time for yourself to get your mind in the right place before your day starts is very life-changing, honestly. And then there was one other thing I wanted to mention about morning routine and night routine that I made a big adjustment that's made a big difference, and that is to not check my phone. So I don't check messages, and I definitely don't get on social media first thing in the morning. In the past, when I have done that, it's just kind of, I feel like it's kind of dangerous because you're opening yourself up first thing in the morning to who knows what's going to be on your feed, what kind of emotions it's going to trigger. I just don't think it's a great way to start the day. So if you've never tried that, try taking at least the first hour, not looking at your phone, and doing something just for you to set the tone for the rest of the day. The 5th best thing I've ever done for myself is to stop overcompensating. And what I mean by that is, which I'm not always perfect at this, but I stopped trying to make up for mistakes. So the easiest comparison or example I have for this is, say yesterday you overate or ate really junky food, and then the next day, in order to kind of make up for that, you really restrict. Which, having these kind of behaviors just creates a bad relationship with whatever it is, food in this case, and it creates this cycle because you overeat or indulge, binge, and then you restrict, and then that just creates the feeling to want to binge again, and then it's like just this vicious, never-ending cycle. But I think the biggest cure for this, or to be more aware of not overcompensating, is to just look at one day at a time and focus on what you can do right now. So even narrowing it down farther into this hour or this moment and keeping yourself fully present. That's the best way to achieve any goal and to be sustainable, is to live in the now and make this moment and this day the best you can. So I feel like that is a really common one that people do, which again, I'm gonna go back and say that reading self-help books, this one particularly, A New Earth, taught me a lot about being present and just being more centered in my life. Okay, and our last best thing I ever did for myself, number 6, is I got comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I think I've talked about this before on my channel, but my word of the year for 2019 was uncomfortable, because I wanted to embrace discomfort and fear in doing things that I really wanted to do. So even something like competing or signing up for my coach, there was some fear along with that, but I wanted it so much that I knew pushing past that fear and that discomfort was more important. And also, when you put yourself in situations where you're a little bit fearful or a little bit uncomfortable, most of the time you're gonna realize that it's not as scary as you thought it was, and then your self-confidence grows, just your whole self-belief and your view of yourself improves. Also, putting yourself into situations that are slightly uncomfortable builds your willpower and your discipline, which is another thing I read in the 5 a.m. Club, was about voluntarily putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, even like taking a cold shower. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but each time you do it, it's like a muscle in your brain. It's the same way you work your muscles at the gym to get stronger. You can work your brain to build better willpower and discipline by doing things that scare you, or doing things as simple as getting in a cold shower that make you uncomfortable. Again, this is one I'm not always perfect at, but it's something I'm always improving and keeping in mind and working to just overcome any fears and just to be brave. Okay guys, that is all 6 of the best things I've ever done for myself. Let me know in the comments down below which ones resonated with you the most, which ones you liked, and also let me know if there's anything you feel like you've done in your life that's really helped you that could maybe help me or other people in the comments, because I'm always looking for ways to improve myself and my life. So anyway, with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, because it really supports my channel. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!